What's up, everybody? It's Lucky Jack Racing, giving you some updates today on the C10. Now, this is my 1964 Chevrolet C10. I've had this truck since I was 9 years old. My parents gave me this truck. It's been featured in a few videos. It's mostly in the background, but today I'm going to go over everything that's happened since the last update video, and I'm going to do a little bit of work to the truck. So let's get started. So the C10 has had a lot of work done to it since you've seen it last. Me and Dad have put on the entire front end, minus the grill and bumper, and the hood because it needs some modifications. But let's go over everything that's happening in the engine bay. So, majority of wiring is currently ran. It's not all completely hooked up. You got headlight wires sitting over here. You have the engine. We've gotten the intake manifold, throttle body, all that wired up. The engine is almost completely wired, minus, I think, part of the starter. Dad does the wiring. I'm colorblind, so, I just can't really do it all. We got our new wheel tubs in there. These are slosh tubs. Me and Dad painted these together, and they look pretty nice, I think, in my opinion. Got the core support on there, front end. I'm working on the grill right now, trying to get it fixed. We got our big old master cylinder. This is actually off of a 2010 2500 heavy duty truck. Was same thing that the engine came out of. I used a Captain Fab bracket, and me and Dad made some custom brake lines, and it's running a manual proportioning valve. I'll go over that in another video on how to make a system very similar to that or exactly like that for your C10 if you want to do that. Got our hood hinges from Switch Suspension. Got all those nice suspension goodies. And let's move to the interior real quick. So, as you can see, I got the doors up. They're aligned. Since it's on the lift, it will not fully close right now, which is normally a problem that you have with a unibody car, but right now it's wanting to be kind of a pain. So let's step in here real quick. So steering column is installed. It is mostly hooked up. We are having some steering issues right now with it. Got our wiring back here. Look at all that. Dad did all that by hand. That's a painless wiring harness mixed in with factory Chevy GM LS stuff. Got a cage in for a stereo. Haven't fully installed the rest of the interior, but the doors, we painted those. They look really nice. Look at that. I rebuilt all the internals and replaced window fuzzies right here, as you can see. Did just some work on it. It looks really nice. Got this seat for $260, I think, on Facebook Marketplace. I really like these OBS seats with the single like that. I just think that they look good. Got a nice low car sport shifter in here for my 6L90 transmission. We got to still mount that and wire it up. Pedals are in. Brake pedal has been adjusted for pedal ratio on that big old master cylinder up there, since this is a hydro boost system. Overall, I think that it's starting to come together. We got new stuff coming in every day for this truck, and we've been working hard at it. But let's move around to the back to show you some really cool stuff. So back here, we have installed on both sides factory backup lights, as you can tell. These were mandatory in 1966, but in 64 and 65, you could get them as a dealer add-on. Now, we used the original dealer template and drilled out a hole. Dad mounted those. But what's cool about these is Dad did some custom light work here to them, and these are actually switchbacks. So if you don't know what that is, basically these are going to glow, they're going to glow white whenever, I'm in reverse, backing up, so people know that I'm backing up. But whenever I flip on my turn signal, these are going to flash bright amber. And let me tell you, these things are bright. And we're trying to make sure that this truck can be seen with all its lighting as possible. I'm installing third brake light in it. It needs to be seen. And if it's not, I don't want to accidentally end up in an accident and somebody claim that they couldn't see me. So Dad did do that all by himself. Those are all cool custom wiring things. I'm excited to see how they look whenever they're fully wired. We also have back here a 1964 New York license plate. Now, I am in the state of North Carolina, But nothing in the law, A, says that I can't have plates from another state as long as it is of the same year as the vehicle. And B, what's cool about this is my grandma was at the New York World's Fair in 1964. So, you know, it's kind of like a little thing. I just really enjoy that this plate is from there. We have a little backup camera installed up here, so, you know, I can see curbs and not accidentally, you know, back up and lay it out on the curb. That would, like, make me so upset. We have these nice little, these are cool, pretty trick. Screw in license plate lights, excuse me. Whew, not thinking right today. Screw in, you know, there's screws that are wired up, but those things are awesome. I think that they look really cool. And overall, it's slowly coming together, but let's do some work on it real quick. So what I'm doing here is, this is my original factory grill. Yeah, I know it's upside down, but this is my original factory grill. This is the same grill that came in this truck whenever it got out, rolled off the assembly line in 1964. Over the years, you can definitely tell it's been painted a few times. This was definitely one of the painted grills from the factory. There's a layer of white on it, so I'm going to say that it was white at one time, and then somebody painted it green whenever they painted the entire truck. They didn't do a super great job, and there were some serious spots that you could tell were still either white or they were the aluminum. And I like the aluminum look, in my opinion. So what I'm doing is I've already started working on it, and I'm almost finished, but I thought I'd show it to you guys. Just kind of polishing it up, removing all the paint from the aluminum, just so I can have that nice shine. And then I'm going to clear coat it, which, hey, I like clear coat. I'm going to clear coat the entire truck, but this thing, it needs some love. So all I've been doing is basically hitting it with some 150 grit to fully remove the paint. Then I'll hit it with some 180 and then 220. And I think I have some 600, and then just that we're going to call it good after all that. I've been sanding on this for, I think I have 15 sanding hours in it already. And as you can tell, it's pretty difficult due to the fact that there's some small indentions and things like that that have to be taken care of. So let's get started, start sanding this down. So I'm actually going to do some work on the truck. Haven't done much of it on the channel, working on it, except for welding the exhaust system, and I just kind of show you updates of it as I get stuff done, but I'm going to start showing more of it because I really enjoy this truck. I enjoy working on it, and I want to share that with you guys. So my first problem right now is front shocks. We had a set on there. One of them seal busted, and it leaked fluid everywhere. So we had to buy a brand new set of shocks from Speedway Motors. But the second problem is the bolts. Now the bolt mounts up like this on the frame, and the wheel is right here. And whenever you turn, this section right here of the bolt will rub on the wheel, and that's not good. I don't want to accidentally screw up my rims, you know, because that would just not be cool. I don't like to mess up wheels, especially these. These are really nice, and I just don't want to dig into them and have to replace them later. So this is the new plan, which is what Dad made probably 4 or 5 years ago. He made this bolt, and I'm just going to make a new one today. But basically, we just kind of took it and we shaved it off. This really doesn't hurt any part of the bolt because of how thick this head is and due to the fact that it is grade 8 hardware. So he took it, just kind of shaved it down, and this is the perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead, shave this bolt down to about the same thing, and then put the new front shocks on the truck. So let's get started. So all I'm going to do now is just take the die grinder and just kind of cut that a little slant down into the head like I have on the original bolt. Just going to kind of cut it like that. I think we used an angle grinder for that, but this will work just as well. And the only reason I'm not using the angle grinder is I have no idea where it is at the moment. So I was going to install the front shocks, and I found out that I have to lift the wheel to get the bolt out up here because the A-arm is too far down that it won't let the bolt out. So, got my transmission jack. See, got the bolt out now. So all I gotta do now is slide this top shock up into this little bracket up here, which is probably gonna fight me because I remember it did not like it. See if I can pull it in. Okay, time to get a hammer. I was hoping not to have to install this with a dead blow hammer, but you don't always get what you want. So apparently I held my hand just right and finally got this thing in here. Then I had to drop a bolt. There we go. Bolts in it. Go ahead and put on the washer and the nut. There we go. We got the top one part of it. Now I just got to do this bottom right here, which I feel like is going to be probably a little bit of a pain. Let me go ahead and get the bolt ready. See if I can just compress it up there by hand. Finally got the bolt in it. Let's see. There we go. And as you can see, that's the reason I shaved the bolt head, is because whenever the wheel comes over it trying to touch it. But now we have it to where it won't do that, which is pretty cool. So there we go, one installed. Can't install the other one just yet. I'll have to go get hardware for it, but here we go. We got one side step shock, one front end shock, excuse me, not a side step, one front end shock resolved. So I didn't get a lot done today, I will admit that. This was not really as much of a working install video as much as a teaser for what's to come on the truck. And let me tell you, it looks mostly complete, but there's a lot of things that need to be done. I know that it's getting a drive shaft ordered for it soon because we got to take the measurements, but we'll be taking those shortly. I feel that this truck has a pretty good chance of getting running and driving here in the next few months. I'm hoping to get to take this truck to prom. I don't know if I will or not, but that is the hope right now, and that is what we're working towards. So if you want to see more of the C10, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so it notifies you whenever new videos are coming out, and continue to watch Lucky Jack Racing, the best dadgum teenage automotive content on YouTube. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.